He's got taters and carrots. I got carrots growing.
Oh, so.
Wait a minute. I thought you were going to sit there.
No, I'm going to sit across from you. Get a nice little side by side.
Are we both on camera then?
Yeah.
A wide angle?
Yeah.
You mean you move up?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I moved anyhow.
Yeah. So, Life22 coming here live from the Farmers Market. Well, maybe not live, but we'll be posting it in a few hours, so it's close enough to live. Just got Mark Schindlbeck here from Schindlbeck Farms, and one of the oldest standing members on the
Currently in the market.
Currently in the market. Yep, on the board. So.
Yeah, been with the board for, I want to say, this is my 18th year.
Oh yeah.
I was only off the board. I was on the board like the second year, and I've been on the board ever since. I only took one break from the market, but our market is doing great already this year. I see we've finally got our honey vendors down there. Not much vegetable, but we're still early in the year. That'll come along, and eventually you'll see vegetables out everywhere. And I think zucchini will be offered.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Well, this is better than last week. Last week was a bit dreary, and now we've got the windscreens for the microphone now, so we don't have to have our audio garbled. So
we do have good weather, and every week that we have good weather is a good one for the market. The market's been running since. Olean Farmers Market has been running since approximately, I want to say 1992. REAP has been around since '89, but it started out as just kitchen table businesses. One guy was a paver, a blacktopper, one person was a bookkeeper. So we had little stuff like that, folks just kind of getting together to pool their money in for advertising and resources, and then the market started up. Olean Market was first. We've done markets all over the place in Cuba, Wellsville, Little Valley, Ellicottville, Salamanca, and Franklinville. But we've slowly, it's hard to keep vegetable growers, and that's the key to a market is you got to have at least 2 vegetable growers to have a farmer's market. And it's hard for us to do multiple markets.
Right.
So we've whittled down to now we're down to 1. And REAP has got 1 market, and this is it, and it's the longest lasting one. It's a good market, actually, I think.
It's good. You got quite a bit of diversity, too.
We do. And we have the coffee person, and that was very important. I was very glad to get that.
It is, yeah. So, and you know what? Sunny days or dreary days, we do better at dreary days. People want a hot cup of coffee on a cold day.
Yes, they do.
So
yes, they do.
So I notice that we get more of an influx. People kind of wave and say hi on sunny days, but they don't come by and say, I need that cup of coffee. I'm freezing,
well,
or it's rainy and dreary out.
In it.
Yeah, we do have iced coffee. So, but
good.
That's not everybody's cup of coffee.
And contrary to popular belief, we are here regardless of the weather, rain, sun, snow, and we have been here when it snowed.
Yep.
We find that the customers want to come even in the bad weather. There's some diehards.
Yeah, because you told me, was it last week? You told me there was some customers that you closed once.
We had a Franklinville market that we were expecting the remnants of a hurricane, so it was going to be really windy and rainy. They were saying a lot of rain. So I called the other vendors and I said, let's cancel the market for the day. And you can't tell the customers because you don't know who to contact anyhow. But so we canceled the market for that day. And I believe we even put up signs. I went down and put up signs at the market saying, sorry, but we canceled because of the weather. And I heard it the next week. Man, there was some irate customers that we were not there. So we learned our lesson.
There's some vendors that just can't show up in the rain. You've got like the soap vendors.
Yeah.
Soap vendors, you wash all their product away.
It would. It'd be just foam everywhere. It'd be chaos.
It would look like an old Bewitched movie or show.
And us veggie growers, we don't mind if it gets a little wet.
Yeah, I mean they come from the earth. They're getting rained on.
Keeps it good. Yeah. Keeps it cool. Except for the one morning where we set up late. It was in October, late October. It was low
frost?
20s.
Oh, okay.
The temperature was in the low 20s with a little bit of snow in the air when we set up, and my tomatoes were actually freezing on the table. So I had to take them off the table and put them back in the truck where it was just barely above freezing. until the weather warmed up a little bit. But it's still a great market. It's still good fun. And pretty soon you'll get regular customers every week, and they'll recognize.
Oh yeah, the first couple weeks is always tough going, and then because you have limited supply. Vegetables aren't ready yet, and
that's true.
Your first week you just had asparagus, didn't you?
Asparagus and rhubarb.
Rhubarb, okay.
First 3 weeks, asparagus and rhubarb, and this week it was almost asparagus and rhubarb again, except we did manage to find some lettuce and a little bit of Swiss chard, but the deer found the rest of it. And that's part of the hazards of growing things too. Is the wildlife like to taste it.
Glad you took time to do this one-on-one with me before.
Appreciate it.
I know you have to put up a fence to shoo the deer out.
I do. I have a little
fences save deer lives.
Yes, because it's a little baby fawn and her mom, and we need them out of there.
Yeah, and if you don't put the fence up, somebody's gonna get shot.
Somebody's gonna get shot.
But so that was a little bit about the farmers market. What Schindlbeck Farms? You guys, you kind of touched on that a little bit. You guys are what, 6 acres?
No, actually we're about 4.
Okay.
The farm is larger, but actually we only grow on 4 acres of it, just vegetables, and cantaloupe. We don't grow any watermelon, but we do grow almost all of the vegetables there are, except for parsnips. They're banned from my farm. It's from eating too many of them in earlier years. I can't tolerate a parsnip anymore. But the vegetables, the summer squash, the winter squash, pumpkins, tomatoes, cucumbers, Swiss chard, a lot of lettuce, the asparagus early, rhubarb.
You go out there with a shovel and a trowel like Joe homeowner, or you guys?
No.
Yeah.
What you see on TV with those garden folks, it's just, that's not what we do.
No.
And I remember one customer said, looked at my price for tomatoes, and he said, $3. All you gotta do is throw some seeds in the ground. Well, he doesn't realize it's a little bit more involved than that. You have to start the seeds indoors.
Yeah.
Grow the plants up, and you got to take care of them while you're growing them up, and then transplant them outside. And they don't just produce tomatoes on their own. You got to keep the insects at bay. You got to keep protect them from the weather occasionally.
Yep. You got to make sure that the ground is. I usually use grass. I use grass clippings.
Excellent.
To retain the moisture in the soil, because you'll bake that soil out, and you got to.
Absolutely. And grass clippings is good because it's kind of pH neutral. If you use oak leaves or pine needles, that has a tendency to lower the pH and make the soil more acidic.
Don't tomatoes like acidity?
A little bit. They're not too bad, but what it does, actually, your acidity level, when it lowers down so much, it binds up certain nutrients in the soil. The plant's not able to take them up. Same as if it gets too base, too sweet, too base. When you're up around 7 or above, it locks up other nutrients and inhibits them from the plant.
Gotcha. Okay, well that's good to know. I was always told that wood ash
will raise the pH of your soil.
It's a base.
Yeah.
I was always told that it's good for tomatoes because it's acidic.
It depends on what kind of wood you burn.
Oh, okay.
So once again, if you burn in the oaks, possibly the beech and pine, it may lower it down. But
iron in the soil, good.
Iron's not bad.
So rusty nails.
Okay. Sure, just a few.
Okay.
As long as they're not stuck in the tomato.
I mean, there's just enough campfires that have old, lumber and stuff like that. You got nails in them.
Pallets. Gotta burn pallets, right?
Yeah.
A good fire is a lot of pallets.
Yeah, then you scoop the ash out and you put it around your tomatoes.
Big tip I hear from a lot of folks, they say that the bottom of their tomatoes rot out.
Calcium deficiency, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
All right.
It's called
good.
blossom end rot. Yeah, I see. Natural gardener. It's blossom end rot. It's an inability of the tomato plant to take up calcium, which is plentiful in the soil. But if there's not the moisture in the soil for it to take it up, it'll cause the bottom of the tomato rot. So all you got to do is keep it watered.
Gotcha. Yeah, I used to water my tomatoes twice a day,
Good.
And they were still getting that, but I think it was because the soil probably didn't have enough calcium in it.
That's possible.
And I actually was reading that eggshells are a great source of calcium. You just break them up and
bone meal.
Bone meal, okay.
Yeah, eggshells. Save your eggshells when you're cooking.
Yeah.
And just
go to a coffee shop. I mean, I've got brown gold, which is coffee grounds and.
Coffee grounds are good for snails too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, snail repellent. We tried that. It was one of those home remedies. We decided to try coffee grounds and eggshells. Both of them are good.
Yeah.
Ground up. There's something about the coffee grounds they don't like. Maybe it's the tannins.
Keeps the DEA dogs away too.
The DEA. Yeah. So, but yeah, as a matter of fact, I'll go home and I'll work on the fence for the rest of the day. We're not going to get any bad weather.
Yeah.
And hopefully I can get it up and get that deer out of the fence.
Yeah, there you go. Well, unless you have anything else to say, Mark, I'd like to thank you for coming on the show.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Better than last time.
Yeah, we'll see anybody who's local. Farmers Market is every Saturday until late October.
Right. Last Saturday in October.
Last Saturday in October from 8 until 1. We've got a litany of vendors here. And I plan on doing one of these every week. We interview each and every vendor. And
I think that's a great idea.
yeah, and we got another one today because our video last week got, so I'm trying to play catch up. But so subscribe to the channel. Maybe we'll see you guys in a few hours. Thanks.
Yep. I'll probably check it out tomorrow. You'll have it up there.